Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Sleek, here today for a very special video before Season 3 of the Madden XFL Franchise Series is released. If you haven't watched the Madden XFL Franchise Series, go out and do so. There are 2 seasons now, 2 official seasons out. Go watch all the episodes, hit them with likes, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're a new viewer, thank you for coming and watching this video. This is epic. So, in the Madden XFL Franchise Series, I created a roster here on Madden where I took away the superstars. I bumped them down to a 12 overall. I took the bench players, the free agent players, the older players that are now lower on the depth chart on their specific teams. And I allowed them in an equal environment to show their true potential and become great if they are great, or just keep going on the road of normalcy for them. I think it was an epic idea. My video has gotten some good views and I really enjoyed that. Now I have created something just as great, I believe. It is an XFL Draft Class here on Madden. I'm pretty sure it's the first one ever. So if it is, please drop a like and subscribe if you aren't already. But here we go. I'm going to break down this XFL Draft Class after week 3 in the XFL. The first piece of criteria I went by to craft this draft class was if they were on a Madden roster, such as my XFL franchise roster, and they were a 65 overall or a younger player like 22, 23, 24 years old, between 60 and 65 overall, they are not on this draft class because they would be starters in Season 1 of any of those franchises that you would start with that roster. Phillip Walker is a great one to bring up. Because he's 24 years old, he's the XFL's MVP right now. He's like Lamar Jackson of the XFL right now. Phillip Walker is on here because after multiple tests with my franchise roster, Phillip Walker has either been a bench quarterback or a starting quarterback, and on the YouTube version, he is a backup quarterback. So I brought him on here as quarterback number 1 in this draft class so he can get drafted and be used like he is in the XFL. Second piece of information to craft this draft class was if they were 27 years old or younger, they are on here, especially if they made an impact in an XFL game thus far. Because in Madden 20, if a player is 28 years old or older, they start to regress on a franchise series. So, with anybody in between 20 and 27 years old, they have at least 1 year or more to upgrade themselves, become better, become starters if they are not starters in this draft class. So I use that as my second bit of criteria. Thirdly, and the main way I created this roster was I went through, jotted down stuff from every single week thus far of players that have made an impact in an XFL game. Also, I went by stats. Best quarterback to lowest quarterback stats-wise in passing, interceptions, or like on the defense, sacks, interceptions, tackles. I went by that, made those lists, drafted them from the best middle linebacker, best defensive player, best quarterback, and I put them on here in that order. And obviously, I took them away if they were too old, if they were already on a Madden roster, and I kept the guys that were not or didn't meet any of those that I have said before. Enough of the jibber jabber though. I want to show you guys this draft class because I want you guys to get excited. I want you to use it in your own franchises and leave me feedback on how you like it. Here we go. I made over 180 players on here. I spent countless time getting all of the information on these players. I got their height, their weight, their age, their college, their archetype, at their position that they play. I even tried to make their likeness as close as possible with the awful Madden auto-generated people's faces on here. But I tried to make them as close as possible to their actual human self. Well, let's get into it. So in quarterbacks, we have quarterbacks. Phillip Walker, Cardale Jones, Jordan Ta'amu, Brandon Silvers, Philip Nelson, Chad Kanoff. And there are some other ones there. Some people are on here just because they were drafted highly from the XFL draft that took place in October of 2019. So that is why you might see Connor Cook or Brogan Roback, who haven't made a play in the XFL, but are on here because they were drafted highly and also to fill some of this draft class spots. Running backs, we have plenty, but the number one running back is Darius Victor right now, and he is on here. Here is just the running back section. I have all the way to Nick Brossette down here. Fullbacks, I have one fullback that made the list, Dimitri Flowers over here out of Oklahoma. He is on this. Wide receivers, a plethora of wide receivers in the XFL that don't have a spot on a Madden roster or they were too low overall. We have Cam Phillips, a dynamic 6-foot wide receiver out of Virginia Tech. Great weapon for Phillip Walker, PJ Walker. He is the number one wide receiver. Followed by all of these guys. Like I said, I put them in order of how many receiving yards, how many touchdowns, receptions. I based them all like that. I did the averages if I had to. But I think wide receivers, I made sure if they had over 50 yards of receiving, they are on this list. Like Nick Holley, what a great comeback story. He tore his ACL multiple times, had some back issues, but he is here now. Second round talent, Nick Holley. Here's some more guys there. All the way down to, I think Alonzo Moore is the last one there. Tight ends, we have Marcus Lucas, Donald Parham, Nick Truesdale. A lot of tight ends there. If the position did not have enough depth, if there were too many older guys or not enough tight ends, there are some generated people on here, but hopefully they will not be drafted as highly as the XFL players do. Offensive line, this is how I made the offensive line positions. So there are 8 teams in the XFL. I took the list of the 8 teams, all of their offensive linemen by their specific position. I looked their age up. If they were too old, I did not include them, but if they were younger than 27, they are on this list. Starting 8 was whittled down to maybe 6 or 7 or maybe even all 8. But here we go. Willie Beaver, Storm Norton, Jerron Jones, Jake Campos, just to name a few left tackles. Here we go to left guard. Centers, a bunch of centers. Ian Silberman, I'm pretty sure he got benched the other day in one of the games. Right guards. Got a couple right guards. Right tackles. Here we go. Defensively, I rank them based on their tackles, their sacks, their interceptions, their fumble recoveries, or touchdowns on defense. Here are some left ends, also some right ends. Defensive tackles. This was kind of a hard spot because some people were drafted as defensive ends that turned into defensive tackles, but most of these guys are defensive tackles in the XFL. Outside linebackers and linebackers. Number 1 linebacker, Nick Temple out of Cincinnati. DeMarquise Gates from Ole Miss. He's a speed rusher, left outside linebacker. Right outside linebacker, here we go, Kyle Cuero. He was one of the guys that were on a Madden roster, but he wasn't high enough overall to use effectively, so he is on here. Ray Davison also. Cornerbacks, got a lot of depth at cornerback from the XFL. So, you guys can enjoy some good young cornerbacks there. Here are some free safeties. One specifically, Kenny Robinson Jr., 21 years old from West Virginia, is using the XFL as a platform to put him directly into the NFL. A young, great talent at safety. And here's some strong safeties. I have also took the time out to get kickers as well. There's 3 kickers and 3 punters from the XFL. The rest are too old to put on here. We got Tyler Rousa, Austin McGinnis, and Andrew Franks, as well as Drew Galitz, Hunter Niswander, and Austin Reckow. So there it is, the XFL Draft Class here on Madden 20. I hope you guys are interested. I hope you guys want to download this. I have it up on Madden Share right now. I believe it is called like the XFL 20 Draft Class or something like that. Or if you want to look it up by my username, OMGitsSleek on Xbox. So there it is. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys download this for yourself and use it in your franchise series. It is a draft class. People up to 27 years old. The main talents in the XFL, especially PJ Walker. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I am very excited to use this in the XFL Franchise Series Season 3, which will be released soon. I am now the head coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. But if you guys enjoyed, please drop a like down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and share with your friends and family who know about Madden, who know about the XFL or the NFL. Please get the video out there. This one needs some views for sure. I think this is a very creative idea, and I believe this is the first XFL Draft Class on Madden. It's been your boy, Sleek. Peace.